Hey everyone, welcome to online learning lesson number 8. It is June 5th, 2020, and we want to jump into it today by thinking a little bit about reading for today's world. Miss Daly and I were talking a lot about current events, about Black Lives Matter protests, and about other protests and demonstrations that are going on right now, and thinking about the violence that is being done against people of color in this country. So we have for you, we turn to books in a time when we need understanding and we need hope as well. So here we have for you some stories that talk about the Black experience in America, or about racism in America, or about fighting racism in America. We can all be against racism, but we all always have more to learn about what to do and how to do that and how to embody an anti-racist being. So we have some book recommendations for you here, and there are many other books on these topics that you may know or that you can research. You can follow these links to look for more books that might feel appropriate for reading right now. Similarly, or relatedly, my 8th graders, you need to start thinking about your summer reading for going to the high school, so that could be a great place to start. And I did make you a separate post that will appear this morning. I filed it under our book talks tab, but it's about what to do for the Brookline High School summer reading. You can also catch the video here. While we're on the topic of combating racism in America, I want to tell everyone about an author's talk that I learned about recently. So you know Jason Reynolds, who wrote All American Boys and many other great books, and he teamed up in All American Boys with Brendan Keeley. They are discussing their book and racism in America in a talk. Now, this talk is something you have to pay for, so if you're interested, you buy a $10 ticket to watch the video, and the profits go to the Black Visions Collective of Minnesota. And this is open for you to watch until Sunday, the 7th of June, so I know I'll be doing that this weekend. Even more looking ahead, and on a lighter note, Miss Daly and I are so happy to announce to you that we're having a live theatrical performance on Zoom on Wednesday, June 10th, brought to us by the PTO. We're very grateful for their help in bringing in these actors. It's the same couple who came last year, for those of you that were there. They're going to perform some scenes for us. You can read more about what they do, or you can watch a preview. This is one of Benedict's speeches being acted here in this link. So please, 7th graders, join at 9 o'clock in the morning, earlier than usual, so that we have enough time. And 8th graders, please join at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, for our last lesson, we practiced using Edpuzzle. I just wanted to say a note about that because a lot of people had questions. It's okay if you didn't get everything right. It does not affect your grade. It was like an exit ticket. It just helps us see what you know, and it helps us work on using Edpuzzle, which Miss Daly and I are new to using. I'd like to go over just 2 of the questions that many people were confused about, but again, it's okay if you didn't get them right. So this one had 2 right answers. How do you think Lee will feel if he finds out about Elle and his brother? Jealous and heartbroken. Those were both correct. If you only said one or the other, great job. That's okay. That's logical. We had it so that you could say both. Next, this one where you had to predict the ending, that was hard. The real answer is it includes a love triangle where Lee also loves Elle. You might have realized that high school movies probably don't end with a wedding, but I'm so happy for the people that did pick the choice, it ends with a wedding, because that shows me that you know that many romantic comedies do end with a wedding, just like our play is going to end with all these weddings. So I could tell that you were thinking about that, and that made a lot of sense. Okay, now for today's lesson. Our aim for today is for you to be able to bring text to life by reading with emphasis, also known as acting. So excited. Some terms for you to know: an acting term and a public speaking term. Projection. That means speaking by filling your diaphragm, this area below your solar plexus, with air, and being able to speak loudly and clearly without shouting. Shouting taxes your vocal cords more than projecting and is more stressful for everyone. So actors try to project, speak their words out to the back of the room. It's important for actors to enunciate. Your enunciation means speaking clearly, like really chewing each syllable, chewing your words, meaning using your mouth to produce those consonants and vowels very sharply. Your pitch is how high or low your voice is, the way your voice rises and falls. Your rate is how fast or slow you might be reading. And your tone is, of course, like the way you put emotion into your voice. So you can think about how would characters use these different high or low sounds, these fast or slow rates, these different tones that we can have when we're speaking. Okay, today we started with this word emphasis. What is emphasis? Emphasis means adding stress to an important word in a sentence. How can emphasis help an audience understand a play? Well, emphasizing certain words helps the audience understand what is most important and why. It helps them follow the story. It conveys emotion. If I read everything flatly, there's no emotion and it's very hard to make sense out of what the heck I'm talking about. In theater, words that are emphasized are sometimes called power words. So a director or a vocal coach may ask the actor to look for the power word or look for the line's power. Like, what is the heart of the line? What packs a punch from this line? So we have some practice today. We will practice with the sentence, "My dog has fleas." And we're going to use some accent marks that will show us where stress could fall in the sentence. You notice these accent marks if you did the iambic pentameter extension, my 8th graders. So remember, we talked about stress or emphasis in a line. This is a continuation of the same idea. So you'll see that that accent mark looks exactly the same. The accent mark is also used in foreign languages, in our world languages. So speakers of Spanish know that an accent falls where we're supposed to put emphasis on the word. It's the same concept here. Okay, so if we put the accent here, you would read the sentence, "My dog has fleas," putting the stress or the tone, the passion into that. My dog has fleas. You can try this one on your own. And think to yourself, has the meaning changed? What's the new meaning of the same sentence? Check it out. My dog has fleas. My dog has fleas. My dog has fleas. My dog has fleas? Now, these different readings, I can create a different story in my head for each of these different moments of stress. When I emphasize my dog has fleas, I have a story in my mind about like, it couldn't be my dog. My dog is the perfect pampered dog that would never have fleas. Like, what are you talking about? My dog has fleas. I'm shocked and astounded that it's my beloved pet. When I put the emphasis on dog, my dog has fleas, now I create a whole different story in my mind. Like maybe I expected the cat to have fleas, or I expected my brother to have fleas, or something. So putting the stress in different places creates a whole different experience for the reader, a whole different thing happening in our imagination. Last thing about how emphasis can combine with tone, we can have our statement emphasis or our questioning emphasis, which goes up at the end. My dog has fleas, or my dog has fleas. You can try it on your own with a questioning tone and see how that changes the story in your mind that goes with this sentence. Now, some basic acting tips. We want you to read with emphasis. So try to read with emphasis in your head as you read silently. You should try to be picturing these actors, these people, these characters having emotion, having emphasis. Try to hear it in your mind as you read. You can also try reading the play aloud quietly in a 1-inch voice so you can hear their words. You could reread lines and emphasize different power words and think about, oh, which one should I have emphasized? Maybe I read that the wrong way and I want to reread it in my mind with a better emphasis so that it makes more sense. I do that all the time. I start a line and then I have to stop and put the emphasis somewhere else so that it makes more sense. Also think about characters' emotions and motivations to decide where emphasis belongs. And if you're going to perform, make notes in your script. Highlight words, circle words that you think need to really stand out. Where are the key moments of emotion for that character? A few more acting tips and some really bad acting by me. So first of all, no one likes monotone. It's boring and it's hard to understand. Take this, for example. This is the part of the play that we previewed on Wednesday when Hero finally realizes that she's being rejected for real by Claudio at the church in front of everyone. What if I read in monotone? True, oh God. Leonardo, stand I here? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face Hero's? Are our eyes our own? Like, no, what are they even talking about? This is supposed to be like, stand I here? But if I read it in a monotone, it doesn't have meaning. On the other hand, although we don't like monotone, it's also important not to overact. Not everything in a play can be emphasized. That just feels like you're being shouted at the whole entire time. If nothing is emphasized, if everything is emphasized, then nothing is emphasized. Like nothing is meaningful. Nothing stands out because it's all at the same rate, even though it's way up here. So Leonardo is supposed to be very like confused and lost in this moment. If I read him like, oh, this is so, but what of this, my lord? Like, that's not right. That's overacting. That doesn't even make sense. Third tip, there are lots of right ways to add emphasis. Like you can imagine the character's motivation and personality in many different ways that might influence how they use emphasis, but there could be some wrong ways too. So let me try to read this with wrong emphasis. Claudio says, let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly. Do you see how I like put the emphasis in some surprising places and it made the question harder to understand? Try not to do that. That was a really weird exercise to try to do, actually, to try to read something in a way that doesn't make any sense. All right. So your job today is quite simple. We want you to identify some power words and lines in this moment. So like, what are the words that should really have emphasis, have emotion? You'll highlight 5 individual words in green, and you'll highlight 1 to 2 lines where the whole line is like a key line in yellow. And this is what the art of acting is all about, deciding what gets emotion, what is important, how do we read those things in a way that captures our audience and makes them feel like they're in the moment. So we did an example for you from Act 4. This is the moment where Beatrice and Benedict realize that they're in love, but Beatrice is really mad at Claudio because Claudio just called Hero some very bad names in front of everybody in the church and rejected her and possibly killed her with his words. So Beatrice says, I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest. You can see how I highlighted so much. That's where I think the emotion is in that line. Come, bid me do anything for thee. Kill Claudio. Boom, that's a power line. Like that is just, Benedict says, ha, not for the wide world. You kill me to deny it. Farewell. Tarry, sweet Beatrice, that means wait. I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you, let me go. Beatrice, in faith I will go. We'll be friends first. You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy. Is Claudio thine enemy? So here I could tell, like, this is a huge moment, and this is a huge moment because she just said that she loves him, but now they can't be together because she thinks that he's disloyal. So that's the task that we want you to do today. So in your workbook, you will please read Act 5, Scenes 1 and 2. We have all these supports for you, like always. We have these videos for you as well. You will then complete your workbook with the Power Words and Lines activity. There's a journal prompt, and there's an 8th grade extension that we expect all 8th graders to do. You can also explore our book list as an option. Thanks so much. This is due Monday. See you next time.